You remember in that story that I told you that the guy who had been sent to deliver for me the product, the cologne, uh, I had sent the map, but then the guy got lost, and this was mainly because the guy was the vendor did not have a delivery person, so they were using a guy maybe on a motorcycle. But then this guy, I don't know, maybe the issue with with the mapping or whatnot, so he went to a different location, despite the fact that where I was is a pretty known place. So the challenge that I see most companies face is the businesses most businesses do not have the resources to hire delivery people. So what they end up relying on is third parties. If you are a business that has been selling a product for quite a while, and you've built your digital footprint, I would heavily encourage you to go and invest in your own e-commerce platform. Social media is an it cannot act like an archive of your product. Let me explain it. When the product you sold in January, for you to continue selling it up to December on social media, you have to post it every single day for it to remain on top of the lineup. Now on when you have an e-commerce platform, once you publish a product, the only thing you might be changing is the color, the description, or the pricing of that product. So the digital e-commerce platform allows you to have an archive of this of the product that you have. It also allows you to give the consumer an easier way to interact with your product without having to reach out to you.
Welcome to the Marketing Matters podcast, where we talk about marketing, especially in the online space and technology in general. I'm your host, Vicky.
And I'm Steve, the co-host.
So today's topic is very interesting. We are going to cover the reasons why e-commerce is not working in Kenya, or basically the challenges in e-commerce. But first, Steve, how was your week? How has your week been? And maybe you would give us one thing that you have learned in the week.
Well, this week for me was quite interesting. There was a lot of discussion, especially going about disruption and innovation, adaptation, trying to think about even different ways we can support our customers in the digital marketing space. So it has been a very fun and interesting week. The highlight of my week was when I learned what I learned when I was watching a documentary uh, called Our Great National Park by Obama, and he was explaining an interesting characteristic of an animal called the sloth. Now, the sloth is known as a very slow animal, but part of why it is slow is because its whole body is slow. Like it can't even help it. A sloth is vegetarian, so it eats just leaf. Now, when a sloth eats one leaf, one leaf, it might take it a month for the leaf to go through the metabolism process, and that's why sometimes it is not even in such a hurry because its own body is not in a hurry. So it was quite um an interesting insight, and also because the sloth usually don't move, they are usually just at one place, and they cannot of course exist in a place that does not have the vegetation. Its body has a lot of fur because remember it won't move, so when it rains on it. When it's sunshine, it's also hitting it. And what happens is that because of it is rarely mobile and has a lot of fur, it is also supporting a lot of microorganisms in this. There are insects there are bugs that are just feeding on it, and it's just there. It's quite an interesting animal. And then when the rain hits it and then it's sunshine, for some reason the color of the skin of the hair changes. So it was quite an interesting thing that it's a slow animal, but you know it's not slow because it wants to. It's not slow because it wants to be slow. It's just how the body is built. Interesting things, the wonders of nature. Yeah. So that's
Yeah,
what I learned.
yeah, that is very interesting, and I'm also learning it today. It just reminds me of a certain movie. I think it was an animation movie. That's where I heard that animal. And the movie was showing the
I
sloth
think I
going to
know
the
the
bank,
movie.
and it was going so slowly, and then it goes to I think even the teller was a sloth.
It
It was
was
just
a Nini.
interesting.
It was I think they were going to get a driver's license or something.
Yeah,
So,
it was just so interesting how slow they
so
were.
one of the clients the teller was a sloth, but then one client was also a sloth.
Hmm.
So making the
Anyway,
process
yeah,
much
it's nice insights. Yeah, for me, I've been well, busy week, but I think there's always one thing that you can learn on a daily basis. But this week, one thing that I can share is I learned that it's not, sometimes it's not the price, it's the packaging. This is something that I learned in business because I got a
mm,
client from an unexpected location. If you stay in Kenya, then or there's a place. Actually, if you stay in Nairobi, if you live in Nairobi, there's a place called Mkuru kwa Ruben, which
mm,
it's categorized as one of the slums in the country. And most times, when you get clients in these kind of locations, you're always sure that you might end up not agreeing. Maybe it was just inquiring to know, because maybe sometimes they'll not agree in terms of the price or just something. Maybe they'll want something if you have a lower quality, something like that. So, but this client was just okay. He was grateful, and we're able to deliver the product to him. And it was just interesting that it helped me know that that businesses are not limited in the online space. Yeah.
mm. And also the thing about your customers, it is that you might have an assumption that the only customers you serve come from a certain demographic and social class, but you realize no, you can find them all over the country.
Yeah.
I think it's also instrumental or instructive to know that the delivery that you're making was part of what you do also as part of your digital solution, which is that you also operate and run a very successful digital uh, e-commerce platform called Ashakid. So anybody who is interested in seeing what Vicky does on apart from offering digital marketing consultancy services, he runs an e-commerce platform called Ashakid. We shall put the link on the comment section for you to just interact. You can get all your key solutions there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, apart from that, we can just dive in today's topic on e-commerce.
Mm,
So before we look at the different challenges, we just have to, for anyone who's not familiar with what e-commerce is, then it is basically just the buying and selling of products or services in the online space. The online space, I mean, it could either be a website, you have an e-commerce website, or a multi-vendor website like Jumia, or social media or Google at large. So it's just users or individuals being able to buy and sell their products and services online. E-commerce in Kenya has risen. It was there since, it has been there for a long time. But it rose when we had the pandemic, where we were forced to sit in our houses. You were limited to move out. So businesses needed to find a way to be able to deliver their products or services to their customers. And this brought in the rise of even buying and selling on social media, because previously you'll only be able to do it majorly on when you have an e-commerce website or if you're using a multi-vendor website. But after the pandemic, social media platforms also developed their platforms in a way that will support such kind of business. So right now you can sell at the comfort of your home or anywhere you are in, as long as, and you can also be able to reach as many customers in different locations, and be able to serve a wide range of customers. So why is e-commerce not working, especially in Africa,
mm.
and to just drive the point home in Kenya? So for us to start or get us started, Steve, we will talk about. I don't know if you have had any experience buying or anything in the online space. Did you have any positive experience or negative experience while you bought something in the online space?
Uh, well, I've bought several things online, and I'm trying to think of just an example of something I bought recently. Um, I have been buying. I buy a lot of things online. Most of my stuff that is uh, not cloth related, I usually bought online. So there was this company that I saw online that was selling the furniture. Furniture here was a TV stand, and I thought they looked very nice. So I reached out to them via social media, uh, gave them my location and my details, and of course, I believe it was a payment on delivery. So I was buying furniture, I was buying a TV stand, and I was buying what are they called, coffee table and stool. So I make my order. They deliver on a weekend because of course the weekday I'm engaged, and then on the delivery we get challenges with the guy doing the delivery. It was my understanding was that this person had outsourced the delivery services to another company, and because it was bulky, remember it's a TV stand and coffee table, they were they were using a lorry, and this guy kept missing my direction. It was very frustrating. It was very frustrating.
Mm.
In fact, had I not already committed to that, I was about to just give up on that day because he kept calling me. Remember, I have already given directions. Google Maps is pretty clear, but this guy keeps asking, "Ni wapi? Where are you? Where are you?" And niko hapa. I tell him this is not the name of the building. It was just a bad experience. But they deliver here. Then they deliver here. They don't want to take it up to the house, and I live I live on top floor. So these guys are like, no, the agreement was that we just deliver here. So I'm telling them who is going to bring this item here. So the only reason they brought it up was I threatened, if you're not going to bring it up, then I'm not going to take the item. You can take it back to the vendor. So it was not a really pleasant experience. But anyway, they brought the item, and
They
then
didn't understand they didn't understand delivery to your doorstep.
yes, yes, to them they're like, see, our arrangement with the vendor. Remember, I don't even know them. So they had to talk to him, and decide, okay, what he will organize for them to deliver. But I was thinking, how else were they imagining that item was going to reach my house? It was a bad experience. But I liked the item. Then I also had another experience, and this one was I can say a bit more pleasant, because I was looking again. I was shopping to furnish my house. So I was looking at another company that was selling sofa sets, and I was like, their social media was very vibrant, and they seemed to have very positive reviews on the comment section. So I reached out to them, tell them this is the type of item I want. They also have an e-commerce platform, so they just shared with me a link and told me choose one of them. When you choose one of our representatives will be in touch. So I chose I chose the furniture I wanted. The representative reached out to me, and I told them, because of my experience, I can't buy this thing until I see it physically.
I
So
see.
I actually went and visited their shop and saw the chair that I wanted. So, and then of course made the purchase. But what was interesting was that because of the experience with the furniture guys, I used this social media, this other company. I only bought it after I had actually seen the item, and I was sure that they were going to do delivery up to my house and not leave it at the doorstep. And in fact, I confirmed that the delivery charges were inclusive of the price of the sofa. So and of course they delivered this time. They delivered well. They didn't frustrate me on who is going to carry the couch to my house. So for that one, it was a good experience. So generally, I would say mixed experiences. I have had
Mm.
bad experiences, and that one that I've told you is even a sanitized version. There have been worse digital experiences, but there have also been
Yeah.
very pleasant experiences. And what I have found is the ones that um that I have good experiences with, I actually patronize them more than once. So
Yeah.
it has been that has at least the one that comes top of mind are those two.
Yeah. I think for me, the one that comes in my mind is there was a time I wanted to buy a dress. I was going for a function, and I was traveling, and it was very far, and I didn't have I would not be able to leave my house to go to search for a dress. So I decided to search online, and then I got a very nice dress. The dress was nice, and it had, the way they will put in a dummy, and you can even be able to picture yourself in that dress. It had pockets, it had, it would, like you will even feel the material without seeing it. So I requested for the dress. First of all, the dress was supposed to come before 3, and it delayed.
Mm,
It was at least, I think by 5, I was still calling the lady, and she's like, I'm
mm.
coming, I'm on my way. I had so many deliveries, what? But I'm coming, I'm assure you I'm going to bring. Because I was telling her, I have to use it tomorrow. So, and I'm traveling, so I need it. So the lady came at almost 6.
Mm,
The dress was not what I thought. Like the cotton, the material itself, like that
mm,
dress, you would see this is cotton, but the material that was brought was a different one, a very low quality
mm.
material. You look at the color, the one you saw was black, polka dot black. The one that was brought was polka dot blue, navy blue. And you're like, you can't see even the color is different. It's like, no, this is, the other one was navy blue, but you are not just not able to see it well on the online. I'm like, what? I'm telling her, look at this
It's
image. It
like
even
it's your
shows that
phone.
it has a, yes?
She will tell you it's your phone.
Yeah, I'm even looking at, I'm telling her, look at the dress. The lady on the photo is even having a pocketing, she has pocketed her hands. So it means
Mm.
this dress has a pocket. She's like, no, at this, you are not able to see it well. Like we have reached a point. Yeah, so we reached a point where we are arguing, but it's like she's not seeing what I'm telling her. And then I'm like, this is not a conversation that will complete. I wanted not to buy, but I'm
Mm.
like, the lady is like, oh no, if you're not buying, just pay for the delivery. Then I'm like,
Hey,
I'm paying for the
delivery of
delivery.
what?
Just pay for the delivery. Because now I've used a rider. What? I'm like, okay. Let me
Hey,
just take the dress, because now we'll argue and we'll not finish. So I took the dress, though I did
hey,
not put it on the next day, but I use it once
hey.
in a while. But I'm just like, this online space,
So,
it's just different.
so
Anyway, on the
take
other
the both
hand,
service first.
yeah, and the other hand, it even makes it difficult for now another seller
Mm.
when he wants to convince you to buy.
Yes, yes.
It becomes difficult. Anyway, let's dive
Mm.
into the challenges
No,
now
no.
that we have
A
even talked
question
about.
before we dive. I'm
Yeah.
curious. Could it be that you accepted to buy that product only because you felt that you related with her, given you yourself run an e-commerce platform and you face these challenges? Could it
Uh, I think maybe it could be that I
you
related
empathize with
because
her?
I'm in the business, but
Yeah.
I think also it's because we were arguing and we were not concluding on the argument, and he's not seeing my point. I'm trying to understand his point, but he's not seeing mine. So I'm like,
Yeah.
we'll not finish, because now he's telling me to pay for a delivery that I've not received the product. So I'm like, let's just conclude this matter.
Wow. You are one of
Yeah.
those clients that e-commerce platforms want to have, where they're like, I give you a bad product, but because I've already come,
But you see
take
now
it.
I'm taking it and I'll never come back.
Yeah, but you have
You
already
see,
taken it.
anyway, yeah. So anyway, let's dive into the challenges. To start us off, now that we have been talking about these stories about experiences in on the online space, then maybe the
Mm,
first thing that we'll talk about is trust. Having too much trust or having less of it. Like when your clients ask for products or services, uh, some would want you to allow them to pay after they have received the product. But there are others who don't mind. They just have trust with you, and they'll just pay.
mm,
They'll check your product, especially if you have an e-commerce store. They check your product, they request for the product, they make the payment, and then they just wait for your delivery. So there are people who have too much trust, and the others who have less trust. The ones who have trust, maybe probably it's either the way you interacted with them on the platform, or they have never been they have never had any challenge in terms of
mm.
people scammers. So pay before delivery or after delivery depends on how you know your client. So what are the solutions? Of course, we have many trust issues, both sides, either on the client side or on the seller side. Because sometimes you, as a seller, you want to sell your product to everyone and you want to appeal to them. But now the client also is looking for ways to scam your product. So it happens both sides. But however, solution is number one, work on your reviews. Always have an option where you tell your customers after they buy a product from you, can they review you either on the social media platform. Facebook has an option for you to for your customers to review. You have Google Maps that allows your customer to review. So always have an option where you tell, even your, if you have an e-commerce website, they can review you. If you're using the multi-vendor website, they can review you. So you have options where you allow customers to review your product, and then this builds trust to other people who would want to buy from you. Then, of course, build your brand. Like, have have ways in which you are educating your customers on what you're selling. Um, Always find ways of which you are satisfying your customers in the best way possible, because they are the ones who will refer you to other people, and those who are being referred will not have a problem to pay you even before delivery, because now they have been referred to by someone who already bought from you, and they know that you're selling a good quality product. Then don't sell everything, especially for business owners. If you're the one who's selling utensils, tomorrow you're selling sheets, it's very hard for me as a buyer to be convinced that you are going to deliver the product as it is, because your work is to just shop around anything that comes along and you sell to me. But if you're selling at least products in the certain niche, I'm able to grow and follow you. Remember, there are people who follow you after some time, even 6 months down the line. That's when they buy your product, because they have been following your brand and they have been seeing this person, people are legit. But now, if you're selling utensils tomorrow, stationery, it's very hard for me to keep up with your what you're selling. Then just generally have a good customer service. This will help build your trust to your customers and therefore make more sales. I don't know, Steve, if you have anything to add there.
Yeah, mine is on the trust and scamming issue, and I also have another example where I was buying cologne online, and
Yeah.
this vendor had really touted this cologne to be a very good cologne, and they were charging a price for a cologne that I had assumed would be quality cologne. We call them the original. So I buy this product, and when I use it, it's not what was advertised. So I didn't reach out to the the vendor, but I had, I swore never to go back to that service provider. So in terms of trust, I would say if you are a business, in fact any business, your word has to be to mean something. That when you say that you're selling good quality product, when I actually come to interact with it, it is good quality, because the first impression for any customer is usually uh, the last. If I interact with your service, whether it be that the product was not as you sold it, or the experience was not good, I cannot trust you to deliver on something else. In fact, trust is not only on the quality of the product, but even on the delivery. Sometimes you promise, I will deliver this item at 8, like that. That service provider, the dress business, and then you deliver it later in the day. You see, already there is an experience. You've left me with a bad test, even if the product was good.
Then you are
So
waiting for me
sometimes,
to call you to confirm
mm,
where are you, instead of you communicating.
yeah, I see the pain is still raw. So yeah, for me, the trust, you have to really work on the trust, because the first interaction is what will actually shape whether I shall be a return customer, or whether I shall actually tell everybody that I know, don't ever interact with this customer. But that brings me to another maybe related issue on the logistics. I think a lot of e-commerce or businesses selling on the online platform struggle with the logistics. And when I talk about logistics here, I'm just basically meaning the delivery. This, for most customers, at least in my experience, I have yet to interact with a business where the process from me knowing about the product, shopping for the product, and the product being delivered to me was seamless. I am yearning for a point where I shall actually just put see a product on X, Instagram, Facebook, or wherever. I click a link, or I click on the online shop. I buy a product without even having to talk to you about what is the price, do you do delivery? All details are provided. I click on it, I buy, and it's delivered to my house. And the only interaction that I have is payment and maybe the call for the guy who is doing the delivery. So a lot of companies or a lot of especially small business, even big ones, are very disappointing when it comes to the logistics. And I think, in my view, the biggest hindrance for this is most small businesses outsource the logistic solution because it costs a lot. If you are a small business that maybe just sells items that your average maybe monthly sales are like 60,000 or 80,000, it is very hard for you to maintain a delivery person, as well as for you to even engage with a delivery firm, the now the non-delivery firms that might do door to door because of the cost. Also, customers are also not known to, or not known, Kenyan customers specifically, since we are talking about the Kenyan case, are very touchy on the subject of cost. So if you tell them that for me to deliver you this thing door to door, it will cost you 500 and I'm paying 2,000, customers feel like this product is, you're charging them an extra fee for they think that price, or most of them imagine that 500 is part of your part of your profit. So what I found, or what I would suggest for small businesses who are facing logistical challenges, and this logistical is usually having the product reach to the customer seamlessly. And this is whether you're delivering within your locality or whether you're doing up country delivery. For me, what I would suggest for a customer to do is either, if you're doing the long distance or out of country delivery, you try to make sure you are the one making the delivery at the shop, at the courier services, usually the public transport services, so that you can give clear instructions on where it's going and how it's going, and even how the product should be handled. Because sometimes you deliver fragile items, and when they reach the other side, the person has to ask for the refund because it was not handled well, because the delivery guy just dropped the item at the place. Another thing that I think also they need to do is build a relationship with the local motorcycle riders. We call them the Ndudi guys. You need to work with the Ndudi guy because most of your items will likely be delivered on Ndudi, and not because Ndudi is the best option. It is like largely because Ndudi is the cheapest option. And like I said, customers are very price sensitive when it comes to the logistics. Now, when you develop a relationship, it doesn't have to be one. If you are a small business, you can even have 5 guys on speed dial, so that when one is not available, you can actually talk to another one. And when you have a Ndudi guy, it is easier for you even to know the reaction, to get even additional feedback on how did the customer react to the product. If the customer says, I am not available right now, you can be sure your Ndudi guy might deliver back, might return the product, or you can have a conversation. But if you use a stranger, chances are, if the customer delays, this guy can either decide to return the product without even consulting you, or he can decide to leave the product with a stranger and, of course, risk loss. Another thing that I think also on the logistical area that really needs um, a lot of smoothening is also the delivery people attitude. Remember that conversation I was having with the guy who was doing the delivery. Like I said, it is a sanitized version. It was it was actually not a pleasant experience because you are almost coming to blows with the delivery person because they just are unreasonable in how they want to approach the business. So having a relationship with the delivery person, or if you are able to absorb that cost, and you having a delivery person at hand, maybe with a motorcycle, you can control some of these issues. Because for customers like me, it is not just about the buying the product. The whole experience matters to me, because if I experience a friction, especially when I'm buying high value items, you are most likely to lose a customer like me. So it is always good to try to get it. And of course, then there are also other companies, logistical companies, which included previously Sandy. There is this other one called Pickup Mtaani. Sandy, of course, is no longer there because of financial issues. But I think there is Pickup Mtaani and others. If you're not able to, if you're doing a lot of deliveries, you might not be able to also work with just and do the guy. But you can decide, I'm doing deliveries only on Monday, and you communicate that to your customers, or 3 times a week. Or I don't know how you will do it, but you can find local solutions build a relationship with the delivery people, and maybe schedule your deliveries, especially if you're doing a lot of bulk delivery to one location. You can schedule it and then now engage guys like pick up mtaani to just be dropping it at that place, and then they can take it now to the final consumer, or the consumer can come and but yeah, that's my thought on the
Yeah.
logistics, but I don't know what you're thinking.
Yeah, I think logistics challenges is a great, it's one of the most common challenges that businesses face, especially
Mm,
businesses that are operating with less than 10 employees. You know, like
yeah,
logistics challenges are, uh, we don't have like a complete company that is able to, like, we don't have a logistic company that has been able to do its work to the core. Like, you'll either get, like, now they pick up Mutani, but now they'll take them to specific locations. They'll not sometimes do door to door, and even the time
yeah,
that is incurred, the bolt, the rider, sometimes you'll get the rider and the rider is insisting you need to add some money because whatever bolt is telling you is not enough. Like, we'll have all those challenges. And in the process now, as much as we have the challenges, we still have to find ways of how we can maneuver with them. Now, I would emphasize on the issue of now, even as much as you take the risks, you take the risk to use a logistic company, or you even use the rider that Steve is talking about, the one that you also, as much as you use the rider, you need to ensure that you are talking to your customer on the payment method. I remember there's a friend of mine who used to deliver with another rider, that he
mm,
knew she knew she would call the rider, oh, take this dress to this place, take these shoes to another place. And then one day, the rider takes the package to a client, and then the client pays
yeah,
cash. And so the rider is having the cash. And the my friend is waiting, and then she calls, have you paid? Then the lady says, yes, I've paid. I've given, I asked if I can pay in cash, and the rider accepted. So she has the cash. And then after, now he's waiting for the rider to come and give her the cash. And then the rider, and
mm,
then after some time, she says in the evening, now he says, I got a problem. I use the money. I will return. And I'm like, you have reached a point, like, we are
too
working
much
together or what?
familiarity. Mm,
Yes, yes. So at least, even as much as you do that, you need to ensure that. Let me even just give you another story. There's a story that was trending online just this year of how furniture guys are being conned. We are having
mm,
scammers in the furniture space, and furniture. You spend a lot of money. You might end up spending more than 100,000 because you're getting
yes.
seats. It's five
Mm,
seater, eight seats, and the likes. So this client, let me explain. This is seller furniture store. This is a furniture store, and then we have client A and client B. So furniture store talks to client A. Client A doesn't need furniture, but he's sourcing for people who want furniture. He's acting like a broker. So client A
mm,
gets client B. So he tells client B, I can sell to you furniture at this amount. So client A goes back to the seller, and then the seller now delivers the product to client B. Remember, he has not been talking to client B, he has been talking to client A. So
mm,
when the rider reaches, because now with that they'll use a pickup or a truck. So by the time they reach the client B's location, they tell the client pay. Now client B, after some time, she says, I've paid. The rider calls the seller, and he says, the owner has already paid. Can I go? And he's like, I've not received the money. Apparently, client B has paid client A instead of paying directly to the seller. So it becomes like a commotion. Whom
mm,
have you paid? I don't know the person that you have paid to. And then now it's either return my furniture or you make another payment. And the lady is like, I've
mm,
already made the payment. So it's just another argument. So for that case, to avoid such scenario, ensure that even as much as you're using these logistics companies, or even you're using a Bolt or a rider, ensure that you
mm,
give full details to the person receiving the product. Like, issue a receipt, issue a payment method, either you put it inside. Sometimes it's not even that you're giving the rider, this is how you will tell her to pay, but you put it in the product.
Mm.
The person will receive the product. As he's checking, he'll be able to receive the receipt, and he'll be able to see the mode of payment. By the time he makes the payment, even if you had a broker or someone in the middle, the payment will come back to you. So also just ensure that even as you are working with these logistics companies, you are careful, because you don't again want to lose money in the process. Yeah, so that is just what I
Yeah,
wanted
that's
to add on the logistics. And I don't know, another
yeah,
challenge, and maybe I'll just go to another challenge. Another challenge that I would also mention is the marketing challenges. Like, you're not understanding which marketing platform would work for you. You're not understanding how to market. You're not understanding who's your target audience in the platform. This is a major challenge, especially if you're just new in the online platform, or you have been seeing people doing it and you have not even sought ways to research and to get how to do it. You just follow what other people are doing. This is very dangerous, especially now when everyone is trying to be in the online space. Competition is too high, so you have to do it so well for you to be able to gain uh, more leads, and also, of course, getting conversion in the process. So just ensuring that you understand the marketing, how to market your product in the online space. Your product you could be selling the same product with your competitor, but you will be marketing differently depending on different things that you will consider. Now, if you don't know how to market, I'll just give a shameless plug that we also, as Asha Group, we offer digital marketing services where we can either train you, or you can pay us on a monthly fee that we will be able to work with you in that journey to ensure that you're able to deliver or to get value for the money that you put in the online space. I don't know, Steve, if you have anything to add or another challenge.
no, I can just tie the marketing challenge to, because you're focused mainly on the actual marketing on the platform. What I would say is also the cost of this platform can be a bit prohibitive. And when I talk about platform e-commerce, there are three ways you can do e-commerce. You can either go and sell your product directly on via advertising on social media, and then all your engagements are on social media. You can either sell it via we call them multiple vendor platforms. This is the Amazon, Jumia, Gigi, or you can actually develop your own digital e-commerce website, and then you can sell the product exclusively, uh, your own exclusive product, without sharing the platform with anyone. Now, of course, different platforms will have different advantages and disadvantages, but I like to focus on, when I'm talking about the cost of the platform, I mean the cost of you having the platform and accessing the platform. When you put it on a multi-vendor platform, chances are that you will be either sharing your revenue with the service provider, in this case maybe Jumia or Gigi, or you are required to pay a monthly or an annual fee for you to enjoy being on this platform. The other way is you develop your own digital platform, an e-commerce platform. And when we tell customers sometimes to develop an e-commerce platform, people imagine that this is such an elaborate website that it might cost them millions. Actually, an e-commerce platform can cost you anywhere between 60,000 to, of course, up to a million, depending on the complexity of your business. But when you have this when you have this e-commerce platform, it helps you do two things. It helps you archive your product, because when you're on social media, for me to get a product that you sold in January, I have to scroll through your website, or scroll, not your website, your social media platform, or you have to share it with me. But when you have a digital platform, you can then have you can then synchronize your digital, now the what Vicky was talking about, your marketing on the social media platform, now with your digital platform. How does this work? What would happen is, maybe your fastest, again, let's take Vicky's shop, which is Asha Kids, and she sells baby items. Say maybe she sells packages for people who want baby showers. Now, probably that is, of those items that she's the package that she's selling, maybe she has three packages of the baby showers, 3,000, 5,000, 10,000. Now, maybe the most popular package is the 5,000. So Vicky, on the website, she will have an e-commerce, on the e-commerce platform, which is Asha Kids, she would have a site that shows a place that shows this is the packages and this is what is entailed in this package. Maybe there are blankets, pampers. I don't know what it costs, what goes into a baby hamper. And then She will then share on the social media platform a link, only one link on maybe the image of the package to the social media platform. Why is this useful? This helps her every time remember, when you advertise, chances are you're going to get multiple inquiries. Now, if you don't have a place that you can archive all these things, what will happen is that you shall be sharing images, because remember, the package can have multiple items. What will happen is, if you get 50 inquiries and your image is, you have 5 images per package, you shall end up sharing almost 250 images, because different customers have to be shared the same image. That is duplication and it's not efficient. But if you have a link, you shall only share the one image of the package, and then you tell the customer, by the way, if you want now the details of what is entailed in the packages, you can find. And interestingly, when the customer goes to the page, maybe they had seen the advert. Remember, you did an advert for one, because of resources. You only did an advert for the 5K. But now the customer, because they saw the advert, you shared the link for the whole packages. When they go to the website, they see, so Vicky also has a 10K package. Vic even has a customizable package. Now you are able to upsell or sell more than you would if you could, because people buy only what they know. Sometimes people don't know that you have products, you have additional products. Assuming maybe you are a baby shop. Again, sorry, we have to use this example for the kids because it's the easiest one. You have a baby shop and somebody saw an advert of a baby item. Maybe it's a toy. But they would, when they see it on social media, they might imagine, unless they are too keen and start going through all your posts, they might imagine based on the advert that you are only selling toys. But when you share the link, then they can realize, and people are very interesting. When you share one link, people start crawling through the other sites just out of curiosity, and then you can get conversion. So for me, when you have a when you engage, when you access, or when you use social media well, and of course have an e-commerce platform, it allows you to sell more than you would if you're just exclusively selling and using social media as your archive. And it's even better for your organizing and tracking your payments and so I just wanted to highlight some of that, even as we go to
Yeah.
the to another topic, another area that I think is also very important for me as a customer and for business.
Yeah, I think you're very right. The cost of the platforms also matters, and it's true. Sometimes we assume that the cost is high or low, but it's always good to ask or to find out and to look at the long-term benefit as opposed to the whatever you're being asked for right now. Like for example, if you're told you pay for maybe an e-commerce website and you're told to pay 70,000, you might find maybe according to your budget, maybe it's too high. But if in the long term, it will be easier compared to if you're to do Facebook adverts, because at the end of the day, you're going to be spending money. So you have to look at the cost in the long term and not the cost that you're being charged right now. What is the benefit in the long run if you're struggling to or you're trying to build a brand? Yeah. So Steve, maybe you can give us the last
Yeah.
challenge.
Yeah, before I even talk about, I can just add to your point. You've made me remember something, that even remember we develop for you the e-commerce platform, you are also able to advertise that e-commerce platform through what we call the search engine optimization, which allows you to now remember, when you are advertising on social media, you will always have to spend money to advertise. But if we enter into an arrangement where we do for you maybe a search engine optimization for 3 months, you might find that a product we optimized in January can still be delivering for you sales after you've already paid for the service in March. So it also allows you to continuously sell even without spending additional resources. Of course, yeah, I just wanted to add that. But another thing that I find, and probably it was also the top 3 issues, is consumer behavior. Kenyans, again, this is a story. This is where this is where you say Wakenya tujiite mkutano.
Uh,
Kenyans are very interesting people, because a Kenyan will come to a social media platform, e-commerce site or whatever, come and look at your site, scroll through the products they want, take their prices, and then go to their local shop and use the prices to negotiate for their products. Which is why sometimes you see people in IG doing what is shunned upon saying DM for prices because they find that they are spending a lot of their time, their images and whatnot, and then somebody is using that to come and say. In fact, some people even screenshot all the details on the post and then share it with their local guy, asking him, "Do you have this?" Which is quite interesting. So consumer behavior is also a big hindrance for people going online to sell, and because of that, people sell because people still frequent physical shop. You find that also a lot of businesses have uh, whether out of ignorance or whether out of past experience dealing with digital marketing firms, they have then decided to now just focus on these people who come to the physical shop. And I can tell you as a digital marketer that there is no way that you selling your product to only physical visitors will ever compete with somebody who is selling the same product to the digital audience. Because while this guy will get a lot of queries, more queries than conversions, the conversions will still, in the long run, be higher than what you are able to get on the digital space. And remember, because of the convenience of digital space, if I am able to deliver a good experience online, that customer will always come back to me online because I have already crossed the biggest hurdle, which Vicky had talked about. So consumer habit for me is also a big hindrance as to why some companies or some small businesses struggle with selling their product online. But like I said, if you focus on the experience, customer experience, all the way from the logistics and the quality of the product, you should not be able to struggle. I think also there is another thing that I see on the guys who sell or who the habits of the consumers. Customers are also not honest. Most customers are not honest. They tell you, I want you to deliver this item here, and then the location they provide is also different from the location that
Mm.
the actual location. So this also adds an additional cost to the vendor or to the service provider, and customers are usually not willing to pay the extra cost. Like say you tell me you live in Kasarani, but you don't live in Kasarani, maybe at Kasarani police station. You live all the way in a place called Isipe. So now
Hunters.
I have the in fact, yeah. So I have taken my cab or my rider. He has dropped me at Kasarani police station. Then you tell me, I should have told you. I say maybe at Total or so for you. You have added the cost or logistical issue for me. But customers are also not able to pay. And again, like I told you, the issue about people just not willing, people wanting to get delivered products at their doorstep, but not too keen on paying for those
Yeah.
services. I think to me, consumer, the issue of people not wanting to, and of course, maybe for some people it's a trust issue, but people just have an interesting habit of taking the prices online and using it for negotiations on the physical shop, and then that issue about consumers not being truthful about the location they are and even the type of product they want. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I think,
I don't know,
thank you so
Vicky.
much.
You can, if you
Thank you
have
so
any thoughts
much.
on
Yeah,
this
I
one.
think that those are very great insights. Yeah, true about the consumer habits. Like it's our culture. We want to touch, we want to feel, we want
Mm,
to see how it fits us. If it's a dress or a
mm,
shoes, we have that culture. So even as businesses, as we are trying to help people, because culture takes time to change, you as a business person, you need to give clear information. I think this is now the good the solution to it. Give clear information. If you're selling, for example, dresses or shoes, sizes, give the right sizes, the right color that you're selling. Share what you sell, like exactly. Don't take photos from uh, different places and you're putting, yet they are not the same. Like you see the story I gave about the dress. This person
mm,
probably didn't take the dress that she brought to me. She took a photo from the online space and just decided to market with that. So ensure that whatever you're selling to me is what you have. And even you talk about customers not being sincere, you as a business person, if you're talking about delivering to people, ensure that request your customers to share an exact pin, or also request them to share the exact location, because by there it's very easy. And actually most of the time customers will tell you just a certain town, and they'll tell you
mm.
they'll not give you an exact location. So you have to insist for the customer to give you an exact location and even explain to them, we are using a rider and the rider needs to know exactly where he's stopping. Not that the rider reaches and then he calls and then you tell them, now come here. No, we need to know the exact location such that we'll know how much to pay the rider. So that is very important for business. It will allow you to ensure clear communication, especially those people who are living in towns that are, it's like they're living in gated communities that are maybe they bought land like Kitengela, those sides where there are some places that are not developed. So you'll get someone bought a land and he built a house, but uh, it's not clear where he's living. It's very good to have an exact location because you might end up spending more than you charge the customers. Yeah. So just understanding the consumer habits and trying to see how you can be able to balance even as a business, because even you as a business, you're in the same category. You want to go and see the size, you want to touch the dress, and so you have to find ways of how to balance and understand the best way to be able to reach your customer without the customer necessarily coming to your shop. Yeah, so
Yeah,
I think
I
this
think
has been a great conversation. I
also
don't know if
Vicky.
Steve, you have something to add before we conclude.
Yeah, on the side of also for me as a consumer, when I look at it as a consumer, I see also businesses struggle in Kenya and maybe also global, but since we are specifically to help provide solutions for our Kenyan clients, businesses struggle to communicate their differentiation. There is very little product differentiation when you just share posts, when you just look at different businesses. So I would urge any business, even if you're just selling, um, let's say Vicky, you are selling, those baby items. There is a way that you can still differentiate yourself from somebody else who is selling the same item. It can be pricing, it can be the way you do your images, it can be how you do your marketing. And again, that is where Asha Group Limited comes in because we help you try to stand out in the crowded place. You don't have to change your product, but we can help you communicate your differentiation effectively to your customer. Yeah, that's what I need to say.
Yeah, I think that is very good because, of course, now as we continue uh, and the technology continues advancing, we are having so many people coming in the online space. So your competitors are also coming in the online space. So just following just what Steve has mentioned, that find a differentiation point in your business will really help you now uh, appeal to a certain audience in the online space. Wow,
And
this has
sorry,
been a
sorry,
very
Vicky.
great conversation.
Sorry,
Yes.
Vicky. Differentiation, I just wanted to add to the listener. Differentiation doesn't even have to be exactly on the product. Your differentiation can be your experience, like how your experience is for the people who are shopping. Sometimes people imagine that, oh no, how can I change my prices? Or 1 year you should change my product, or then like people imagine that it's a very complicated thing, and we're just trying to simplify and telling you part of what we help our clients do is on the differentiation to think outside the box and not just imagine or try or come up with solutions that are the generic solution. So differentiation can be in very different format.
Yeah. Yeah. So, in conclusion, e commerce is here to stay. Businesses should just embrace it because you cannot run away from it. Everyone is going on the online space, and it's always known you follow where your audience are going. Just find the correct strategies that you'll use to adapt. Don't focus on only one channel, like just don't be on Facebook alone because customers keep shifting and they are on all these platforms, but they keep shifting one here and there, depending on the seasons and whatever that is trending and different reasons that will make them shift. So just ensure that at least you're on more than at least 2 to 3 channels or 3 platforms. This will help you at least be able to grow your audience and also reach out to different people and, of course, eventually make more sales. Take that business in the online platform. Try to differentiate your product. We have talked about the different challenges and the solutions that you can follow. I hope you have loved this conversation. I hope it's beneficial to you if you're planning to start a business in the e-commerce space, or you're already doing a business and you found it challenging, or you're even in the business and you have been getting such kind of experiences. Remember to share them in the comment. We'll really love to know what you're going through, and if we can be able to assist, we'll be glad to be able to help you. Otherwise, remember to like, share, subscribe, and see you in a bit. Bye.
Bye.